What's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
And this is a Full Metal Alchemist video for episode 15 and 16.
Hell yeah.
Wait, this is episode 17 and 18. This whole video, I've been wrong.
Oopsie.
Guess what? No seasons on this show.
Oh.
Took me 16 episodes.
You looked it up.
8 reactions to figure it out.
Love it.
There's no seasons. This was just one. They were like, we've already done seasons on the first one, so this time it's just gonna be like 64 or whatever it is episodes.
All right.
Yeah,
Sure,
there's
why
no seasons of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood except this one that's long, and I'm excited to get into this. I liked the last episode; it made me sad, so I'm hopeful this one doesn't make me as sad. Yeah, let's do it.
I'm not gonna promise anything.
If you want the full-length reaction, go to patreon.com/nerdynightly. But if you don't, stay here because we're about to watch Cold Flame, which probably means that someone is going to pour water on Mustang. That shot makes those look like the villains of the show in a fun way.
Yeah.
And I don't think they are, but Mustang is a dang liar, and he's going to pay the consequences of that, I think.
Yeah, well.
I still can't believe I got the eye patch thing right. I feel that makes me feel good about the show, you know? I like when my predictions are correct.
Of course.
Yes. What happens when creation touches destruction? What happens when creation and destruction start working together? Against God? Dad?
If this was a classic anime, it would be God.
I mean, God is in this.
What if God was one of us?
Now tell me, what is the caliber of the gun that you carry?
It's a 45, sir.
That just isn't true.
What?
Well, he was attacked in the place first, and the person by the phone saw him with blood on him. If you're gonna lie, at least come up with a better lie than this.
But the 5th laboratory is no longer operational. It remains unmanned.
It was definitely not unmanned.
Sure, according to your account.
You could ask Etta now.
So the place where you claim to have used your gun was unmanned. And if we looked for the bullet, all that we would be able to find is a pile of rubble.
And 5 witnesses.
You were spotted leaving the scene on the day of the murder, at the same time as the shooting.
That's impossible!
Calm down, Lieutenant.
Envy.
All you can offer us is your family's testimony. That is not admissible as an alibi.
Why?
Are they trying to frame the second lieutenant for this?
Yes. Unequivocally, yes.
I wish I understood military structure better because I have no idea what rank means what.
Yeah.
Like a captain and a major and a commander could all be the same thing.
No.
I mean, to me.
Fair.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Mommy, please don't cry.
I really like the little details in his hand when his hand is moving. They draw that really well.
Yeah.
Honestly, sometimes I wish you would just give this whole thing up.
Yeah.
You're sure being nice, Winry.
Why do you sound so surprised? I'm always nice. Stop it. Take that back.
You're
out
going to
Character development. It is weird to me when they show the inside of Elle's thing and the seal isn't there.
Oh,
I understand it's
you can see
to
it
just
from,
not
certain
animate
angles.
it, but
Yeah.
Lieutenant Fallman, calling on an outside line.
it's a good thing they have the person that Maria Ross was shooting at.
Iram, George, Oliver, 4.
She was convicted? Wow, they move fast.
You got a tight grip.
Yeah. It's just, it makes it more suspicious when you ram through something that your soldiers know there's evidence against, right? If you're trying to hide, this is not the way to do it. Because everyone's going to be like, no, wait, no, that's not what happened. We saw him bleeding.
Yeah.
We know that's not what happened. And so this just weakens the Fuhrer because it makes the military more suspicious.
Are you guys even trying? You can do better than that.
He's still coming at us!
The guns don't even...
Did they let him out?
Hold it! Stay back!
That's a choice. Fair.
Yeah.
If you've never seen that before, that would be horrifying.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure I understand how this helps, Maria.
Been looking for you.
You're from the 5th laboratory.
You haven't forgotten me. How sweet.
You're kind of hard to forget, dude.
According to the newspapers, you're one guilty soldier girl.
It can't be.
Oh, but it is.
She was convicted and doesn't even know?
I had no choice. Oh, Dad, please forgive me. Fine, let's go.
The order is shoot to kill.
Yeah, I don't see how this makes this any better.
I don't remember.
Lieutenant Ross!
They just end up in these situations somehow.
Well, they were coming to see her, I think.
If the MPs show up, they'll shoot you!
Lieutenant Ross!
Stay back!
No, wait!
Because now it looks like Ross is working with the homunculi because to Ed and Al, he's with the homunculi. And
Who
so
is?
when Barry, right?
Oh.
And so if they see her and Barry with Mustang, with the lie that he told the last episode, they're going to think that Mustang did it. People live in this city, right?
What happened here, Colonel? Tell me!
This is a mess! This is so bad on so many levels!
Why didn't you say anything?
You threaten a superior officer? You forget yourself, Elric.
No, he didn't.
What?
He didn't threaten him. He said, why didn't you say anything?
But you do not argue against orders, or ask for explanations. Just follow them.
Well, this is a fucking mess. This shit fell apart fast.
I could never have imagined that Second Lieutenant Ross would commit such a heinous murder. She was so straightforward and earnest. A truly fine officer.
Oh!
Fatigue seems to be getting the best of you, Major. Perhaps you should take some leave.
God, Mustang is such an asshole.
The plan was supposed to be designed to get Mustang to behave himself.
He took the bait. Now he doesn't have a reason to snoop around anymore.
No, he didn't.
His subordinates won't trust him much after this.
You didn't do that. He did that himself. You got lucky.
It's a request for leave.
Request approved.
Thank you very much, sir.
She's immediately going to go hang out with Ross. In their secret hideaway.
Oh, pipe down, will ya? Nobody saw me.
Don't you get it? That isn't the point!
So many people saw you.
So how do you like that? He's whipped. The second the lieutenant goes on leave, he gets like this.
You'd think Lieutenant Hawkeye was
Colonel Mustang's nanny or something.
What now?
You're going back home to Risen Bull?
I have no idea what he's talking about, Al.
You would stand out too much, so you remain here in Central.
Okay.
Right. We need to make arrangements.
People won't just talk in this world. They all want to be so convoluted about shit.
Major Armstrong and Edward Elric have gotten aboard the train, sir.
Finally, everyone's out of the way.
Cool.
This is a rough sketch of the guy.
Oh, he's still alive then? Is there any direct connection to the Colonel?
Can you describe him?
It's a suit of armor. Skull face. I don't know.
Don't blame this on me, you ugly hag. I'm short on manpower.
Ugly? Nah. Don't be a liar.
It's like you're finally on. Bury the chopper.
Oh, right, because his body would be somewhere with while his soul's in the suit of armor. That makes sense. Cool. That was a lot.
Yeah.
That episode was a lot of things.
Yeah, that's fair.
Do
you want to talk about it? Do you want to just watch the next one?
No, I want to talk about it briefly. I understand what Mustang thinks he's doing, and I don't think he's doing a good job of it. Okay. I think there's going to be, I think that he is using a lot of trust capital he might have with people for this plan. Mm-hmm. And I think that whether it's successful or not, he is going to owe a lot in order to get that back. And in a series where this isn't necessarily a bad thing, this is just the story, but in a series where the enemies can shapeshift, trust capital goes a long way. And spending that this early might have some really dire consequences for these characters later on. Yeah. And so I hope the story leans into that, because I think he's pushed the limit with what Ed and Al will accept from him. Mm-hmm. And I'm very curious to see when they do kind of come back together, even though they will probably find out that Ross is alive. And there's no way he actually killed her, right? It doesn't make sense that Barry is in his custody, saves her, and then he burns her in the middle of the street. It's just too obvious that it's a fake out. Or he's like a sociopath, which I don't think he is. You know what I mean? I think that he is too emotional and because he's the fire guy, right? If he was in control of his emotions, I don't think he would be the fire alchemist. I just don't think those two things go well together. And so this is all a controlled flame, right? And so when all of this comes out, he's still going to have to owe Ed and Al a lot of explanation. And then he's going to have to get their trust back. Because I think they're going to be like, you didn't tell us. We could have been in on this plan with you. And you deliberately lied to us and manipulated us in a way that it pushes the boundaries of friendship, right? Pushes the boundaries of that interpersonal relationship. Mm-hmm. And so I'm curious to see what effect that has later on when there's these larger events taking place that they have to stop and they need to work together. But Ed and Al are kind of looking at Mustang going, I don't know if we can trust you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Armstrong can come with us and do the thing, but I don't know that we want you on our side. And that's interesting. It's interesting to break that trust early and then have to have that character earn it back. So I don't know. I think this episode was a lot of things. I think the Führer's plan is bad. Or at least the
Envy's plan?
Whoever was running yeah. I think that making it so obvious that they're pushing through an investigation without the proper process makes the government seem super shady.
I mean, it's weird because we don't really know what the proper process is.
Convicting someone of a crime and they don't know they've been convicted is kind of crazy.
It is definitely crazy.
It's not even because there's not even a court martial, mm-hmm. right? She's just convicted. Mm-hmm. Despite the fact that, but even without that, even if this is the proper process, which it can't be, there's too many people in Mustang's camp who were there. Mm-hmm. There's too many witnesses to the fact that this isn't true. Mm-hmm. For this to not make the government look like they need to be looked into by other people. Mm-hmm. And so I just don't, if you, it's like that meme where it's don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious. Yeah, but instead of not being suspicious, they did the most suspicious thing you could possibly do, which is frame someone who has an alibi, who has multiple witnesses within your military organization who know that it didn't happen, none of whom believe that this happened, right?
No, the only witnesses that they had were that she did fire her bullet at the 5th laboratory, but mm-hmm. that's not when the murder took place.
Sure, but if they can only prove that her weapon was discharged a single time, then you have a witness to that single discharge.
Yep, for sure.
And so then you have to prove that she has another gun. Mm-hmm. You also, you can't just say, oh, no, you can't, your parents' alibi it isn't valid.
I mean, yeah.
That's not how that works. At least not without talking to them. If you can't just, no lawyer would hear, oh no, I was with my mom and my dad, and go, we're not going to talk to them. That won't be relevant later. That's just not how that works, right? And so by brushing that aside and by pushing through that, you look more suspicious and you let your enemies know, hey, this is where we are.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a big mistake on the homunculi's part. And if it's mm-hmm. Envy and not Wrath that's doing it, makes sense. Envy, not a thinker. Not a thinker. Anyway, let's watch the next one. I'm really curious to see where this is going, because it was
there was a lot in there.
That was so dense mm-hmm. to set up the next plot line.
Yeah.
I really think Ling, get him out of the show. This whole Ling thing, so unnecessary. the characters in the show who are not in that plot line, who are not him and his Goonies, the plotline is so interesting. And there's just this thing going on with him that makes no fucking sense. He broke out of a prison, so now he is not just a fugitive, but he's a fugitive. He's not just like in the country illegally, but now he's also a fugitive from the law. Like, I don't know what he's fucking thinking. And
he's only 15.
I could do without him. You see, he can't actually be 15. That's a joke to get out of prison because he's trying to not get tried as an adult, right?
You know, I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't like him. Partially just because he's not. The show needs to connect him to the show somehow. Because right now it's like, and then Ling's there, and you're like, why?
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Why is this man? Why is he this goofy goober that's just kind of around for doing random shit and then leaving with Barry, putting himself? Look! If you are the prince of a foreign nation and you get caught breaking out of prison, you're never gonna be king of your country. If your goal is to become the emperor, the thing you can't do is become a political prisoner in a foreign land. It looks bad. He's not thinking. He's not using his brain. And,
I mean, that's fair.
But his diabetes makes him pass out in random places. So I don't know. I just don't like Ling. I like everything else that's been going on for the past like 6 episodes. I really like.
Yeah.
And I don't like Ling. And I'm like, I really hope Ling doesn't sink this whole ship for me because I like literally everything else.
Yeah.
There are a couple things in here that I was like in the moment frustrated with, but by the end of the episode I really liked. But Ling can get wrecked.
Okay.
And I'm willing to change my mind if later on he feels relevant. He just doesn't. He feels like he's from another show.
Yeah.
Let's watch the next one. It's like, hey, fucker, remember when you kidnapped me?
Did you see it?
No.
Oh, okay.
What did I miss?
We can check back at the end.
With who?
I'm glad.
Oh, Hot Dog Boy. Was that what I missed?
No.
Oh.
What's up, big guy?
Lieutenant Breda!
So why hasn't he called?
Because you guys never use phones to tell people anything.
Good thing I can explain it all.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, we're going to ancient Greece.
But if Xerxes was such a highly advanced society, how were they wiped out in a single night?
Too much alchemy. Thanos came and snapped his fingers. Ooh.
Come on!
So it's been like weeks, right?
Since he left?
Yeah. It must have been. Like, if this is such a remote place that you can't just go there, there's a significant time jump that has now happened.
No, I don't think it's weeks. I think, like, the train to the other cities, like, several hours to, like, maybe a day or two. And then I don't know what the ride through the desert was.
That damn colonel.
Thank the heavens!
All right, when a woman's running away from you, maybe stop.
So the colonel knew that Lieutenant Ross was innocent all along?
If you were just planning on telling them, just tell them.
Seems a little too showy, sir.
Is that what you think?
I don't know.
I agree. This is so dramatic. He'll be a great next Führer because the Führer right now is a dramatic little boy who gives people names. Mustang's gonna live up to the mantle. Being a dramatic little baby. Oh my god.
Barry?
Yo, Mustang, you seen today's paper?
Yo, Mustang!
I've still got a hole in my right hand where it passed right through.
Did the newspaper article include the evidence in it?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it was like a transcribed trial. I don't know.
Maybe.
Human transmutation?
Of course not. I'm just gonna whip up something that looks like a human corpse.
With alchemy, you could do it. Because for a second I was like, there's no way it would look human, but with alchemy, you can change the shape.
Yeah. Like, people can, heal
But
and
I've
stuff.
got plenty
and
of
you can manipulate
experience
human
burning
flesh.
corpses.
The issue's
That
when
was dark. That was very dark.
Yeah, the issues is when it comes to the actual person and their soul and...
Sure. I'm saying, like, this makes sense because alchemy makes it work.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, you could have made it look a little bit more like her. Shh. Little alchemy to close the hole.
In here, Colonel, tell me!
Or that.
He can't do alchemy, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure the Colonel will come up with something. Come on.
He, in fact, did not come up with something.
Well, in a way, I think Edward sold the plant because he believed it.
Oh, sure. I'm just saying that at the point where you're crossing the desert for weeks, you can tell them, hey, we're going to go meet up with Maria. She's alive.
I don't think it's weeks.
They're in the middle of nowhere. They've got there on horseback in the desert. That takes fucking time.
You remember Barry from the 5th lab, right? He went on one hell of a rampage. They're bound to send someone to reclaim him.
Yeah, Barry. I said
Barry versus Barry.
BVB.
That's like the creator clash we need.
I love the idea that Barry has a YouTube channel. If you want to chop up a human body.
Oh, yeah.
And I was promised you'd tell me.
Yeah, but I don't exactly see how I have anything to do with it.
Good point.
We've collected a fair amount of intelligence.
Just want an original Armstrong for my wall. I'm really glad that Armstrong's mascara isn't running in the desert.
You can get me next time.
Why did they come out here? Just to see that she's alive?
Yeah, as proof. But they also have another mission that they're about to do that is like
they do have something else. Okay, because Armstrong was like, what do you want to do now, Ed? And I was like...
I recommend preserving your fluids from this point on.
All right, Dune, calm down. Oh, shit!
Try and relax, Bowman. We want this one alive, so don't kill it!
Cool. Literally Barry v. Barry. I love that guy's just G.I. Joe.
Bowman, don't you think I'm wearing this mask for a reason? Man, I can't stand working with amateurs. Sorry about that.
Ooh.
Told you it was safer. We've got the Hawk's eyes watching over us out here. I don't think he knows what I'm saying.
No way. I thought this guy looked familiar. Talk about memories. I haven't even seen this guy since the day my soul got yanked out of him.
Talk about memories.
Excuse me, young man.
Zuko.
Madame Shan and I were both injured during the Civil War. But then we were saved by these two Amestrian doctors.
Ed's dad?
Are you saying you were a friend of Dr. Rockbell?
Yeah.
Who's Dr. Rockbell? Oh, Winry's parents. Oh, okay.
There you go. I was like...
They were like an aunt and uncle to me.
Small world.
I'm so sorry. There was nothing we could...
What? Holy fuck!
But he was an Ishvalan monk and his right arm was tattooed.
Oh my god. No, I wanted Scar to get a, redemption plot. So where did Armstrong go for that, hour that he was hanging out with, 40 people?
I'm getting chills up and down my soul. I've got to get my knives into it. That body's way past its expiration date.
Oh, God.
Well, I have to do it. It's my body, so it's up to me. And I'm putting it on the chopping block.
Damn it!
Oh no, I'm gonna have to call you right back. I've got a customer of my own to deal with.
Oh, fuck! Oh, shit! Wow. Hawkeye, I don't know how you're getting out of this one, but I hope you do.
So was the explanation, did it come together for you?
No.
From the last episode? No?
This was a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I think that part of the problem is that I don't know where Xerxes is, but it's like a mythical place.
Sorry, I meant like the Lieutenant Ross thing.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, it's so weirdly convoluted that like the last two episodes have been these episodes together, there's great stuff in them, and I think there's like a fun narrative moving forward that I really like. This was a lot of weird, and like there's a lot of like convenient things that have to happen in these episodes for the interactions to happen the way that they do, that I don't love. I really like what's going on with Barry in like the apartment and finding his own body and fighting, and Gluttony showing up. Like I like that. I think that what the show just wants to introduce things, and I don't know that it needs more stuff in it. I feel like there's a lot of stuff in the show already, and when it is focused on the stuff that it has been focused on for a while, I think it's very strong. And when Ed walks away from Armstrong and then gets surrounded by Ishvalans, I guess, and then he's like let alone in Xerxes, like there's just elements where they want to introduce concepts that I think are really cool. And like the reveal that Scar killed Winry's parents is very interesting, right? And like the narrative of that, the way that we got there was just kind of like, I guess Ed just like went on a walk. But I don't really understand why they went to Xerxes. Like I don't get it. And so I'm hopeful that
Lieutenant Ross.
Right. Because Ed wouldn't have believed it if he didn't see it with his own eyes. Why is that happening in a fabled city that they didn't know that they could go to?
Well, it's just a point on the map that's in the middle of the desert. Like they can't risk, getting everybody together inside the country's borders. So they go into like a neutral place that's like there's not going to be anybody around. But that is like a point on the map still. Like people know where the ruins are, but you can't just be like in the desert somewhere.
Sure.
So
if all they do from here is just go back, then I don't understand why any of this happened.
No, there's like a part 2, which Armstrong said there's like more stuff that they still need to do.
Sure. And I think that once I see that and this can all kind of like make a little bit more sense, I'm down. But I don't. Ross had to leave Central at the same time that they did. So if they were going to go there, the weird, like, Ross got here 2 hours before you did. And we're
2 hours?
She can't have left that long before Ed and Al.
What do you mean? They had to take the body, they had to do the investigation, they had to get the dental work. Like, there were, I don't know, at least 2 days, maybe a day.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't also know how long it takes for them to get to Xerxes. So I don't know what the timeline is. In terms of
but she got there by herself because she was alone. Right? I don't know. I just find the weeks of travel that must have existed to get out of the country, and like did they?
It's not that big.
Did they sneak out of the country? Like did they? Because we know that there's like borders and that there's like passport stuff that you need to cross through the desert. So did they do that stuff, or did they sneak out legally? Sure, but
yeah, they just like walked into the desert.
I don't know. This plan just seems so convoluted, and I don't know what it accomplishes. Like, I don't know why they didn't just meet up in like Rustenbull, or like in a city, in a major city. No, but like in like the farmlands outside. Like it's a country. It's a massive place. And it's fine. I think that it will make sense as we keep going. I just think right now this episode was a lot of like. And Maria Ross is alive, and like that's crazy. And then Armstrong disappears. They leave to go to Jing.
Yeah.
And Armstrong goes somewhere in Xerxes so that Ed can be alone for an afternoon, so that he can be ambushed by Ishvalans. who just happen to be the people who know Winry's doctor parents.
Yeah, that's...
And when Ed hears that 2 doctors who were in the war, he's like, oh, the Rockbells? It's like, oh yeah, like my dad was in Vietnam. And this Vietnamese guy is like, oh, do you know John Stewart? And you're like, oh yeah, that's my dad.
Well, here's the thing. Doctors are a lot more scarce, and like a doctor couple...
Why are they more scarce?
Than soldiers?
Oh, sure. But like, it's not like a war has like 2 doctors.
No. But as them being there as a couple, I think is like semi-unique.
Oh, sure. It's just very convenient. And so when you and so when you take that convenience and you lump it on the convenience of Ed is alone in this moment, and that nobody noticed all like a whole
50 people there.
Group of Ishvalans living in these ruins that they've been hanging out in the afternoon. It's a couple of conveniences on top of each other that make the like doctor convenience seem more convenient because it is surrounded by convenience, right?
Yeah.
It's if you want to do convenient things, you kind of have to isolate them in things that just make sense.
Yeah.
Or else it feels like you tried too hard narratively to get to something. And that's what this episode feels like. It feels like the show is trying a little bit too hard to get to this stuff in Xerxes with Ed and Armstrong. And that they just kind of like went into the desert. I don't know. I don't dislike it. And I think like the stuff going on with Gluttony is really good. I don't want to harp on that because I don't like hate the episode. I actually really enjoyed it. That was just weirdness. And like, it keeps pulling Ed and Al away from the main plot. And I think it's interesting that the show keeps doing this thing where like, because they are not of a like standing where they can dictate their own lives, they keep getting like pushed away from the plot so that it can happen when they're not there. And I'm hopeful the show will stop doing that at some point because I like when they're more involved in what's actually happening. And this like giving Ed and Al the runaround to me.
What do you think is the main plot?
What's going on with the homunculuses. And so like what's going on with Gluttony and Envy and...
Yeah, so I'm not really sure how that's being like pushed like...
Because there are characters that keep literally displacing Ed and Al away from the action.
Oh, okay.
And so Ed and Al's agency as characters keeps getting taken away by their superiors, right? Mustang is more the protagonist of the story right now than Ed and Al because Mustang's actions are impacting the other characters in the show.
Yeah.
More than Ed and Al's are.
Yeah, he's definitely more central to these couple episodes than... Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that we can get our main characters back involved. Because one, I don't know that I like Mustang very much. You know what I mean? Like I'm very questionable about him. I think that he is very dramatic, and that's fine. It's fun. Him being dramatic is fun. But he's also a little bit morally not the most stand-up guy, right? And he wants power in a way that makes me think he shouldn't have it. Like the kind of men who want power the way that Mustang does, I don't want to be in charge, right? Because he's the kind of guy that I'm like, you're going to be better than the Fuhrer because the Fuhrer is a construct of evil, but how much better are you actually going to be? Right? If you're down for authoritarianism. And so that's questionable to me, but it's being played really well. I just want Ed and Al to be more a part of it instead of having characters constantly like funneling them off to Rustamboul so that they can get on horses, ride out into the middle of the desert.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
You know what I mean? Like,
especially because they're separate right now. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And Al is just sitting in Central for weeks.
You keep saying weeks. I have no idea where you're getting this number from.
They rode horses, like, because Rustamboul is, like, relatively close to Central, right? And so unless the country is, unless it's, like, Europe where the country is super small, but also, like, they
why wouldn't it be?
The episode makes it seem like Xerxes is this, like, place that you have to, like, go on a pilgrimage to. Because it's this fabled place in the middle of the desert.
It's just on the way between the two countries.
Yeah, but they talk about it like it's more than that, right? Like the dialogue on it.
It means more than that.
Sure, but even Ling was like, I want to go there.
Yeah, I wanted to go there, so we like took the route through.
Oh, but he went there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying it. Like, this is fun. These 2 episodes together have been a lot. And
I'm gonna go back to something real quick.
I don't know if the payoff is as strong as I want it to be. Oh, the thing, yeah. Go. No, you're skipping forward. You missed it.
Did I go past too far? Okay.
Right there.
All right.
You can just...
All right, we're at the end of the theme song. Wait, no, it's like right at the beginning. So.
All right, what is this? This is the end of the theme song. Oh, it's May.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's there.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did not catch that.
Yeah, I was just checking.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
No, it's just fun. It doesn't mean anything. It's just like, oh yeah.
I need to look at a map of this world.
Okay.
I just need to look.
I don't know if it'll give you like
Full Metal
distances.
Alchemist map.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I'm not giving up on this. My phone will do better.
Someone in the chat will be able to tell what, like... Because I don't think you're going to find what you're looking for. Like, you want to know what the distance is, but you don't know how many, like, kilometers.
No, I want to know where Rustenbull is.
Oh. I mean, it's right beside the desert.
So it's all the way at the edge of the country.
Yeah. Yeah, like they get off the train and the sign says Rustenbull and there's like a map of it and then you can like see the desert.
I can't read any of this.
So let me show you back in here. So look, this is...
No, it's not.
Yeah, look, this is...
But it's not that far. It's not that close to the desert. They have to get across, they have to go through all of Ishval. Unless Xerxes is in Amestris.
Well, that doesn't make any sense because they're at the desert and this is a map of Rustenbull. It's right here.
I know, but they go to Rustenbull's train station. Yes.
Uh-huh. And they can see the desert from there.
What do you mean? There's no desert on that map.
No, I mean, like, they can literally, like, they look... Oh, well...
That's just
no, they meet
farmland.
with the guy, and then suddenly, I guess...
And then they're
the
just
desert.
in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So they go all the way south.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know.
Yeah, like they cross all of this to get somewhere over here. Like that's a lot of travel.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where the ruins are.
It makes sense. It makes sense if this is going to be another Annie and the Horses situation where people are like, it doesn't matter. They got there in a day. And I'm going to be like, that's not, you can't just get places.
Teleporting horse.
Unless they get back on the train, but I don't think they do because I think they're specifically trying to sneak out of the country.
Yeah.
Which is why they go down to go around. But what is Al doing for the weeks of travel?
You keep saying weeks. You don't know that it's weeks.
It takes time to go places. You can't just get places, okay?
But like, for example, if their country is the size of England, you can get places in a matter of hours. You don't need weeks. This doesn't have to be North America or Russia, right?
Sure. If this country is small, yes.
Which it has always seemed to be that way to me, but I do not know. Like, you know what? Maybe that's something that we could also Google is like how.
I'm sorry if this is the worst content ever. I just am like. This cut from Rustenbull to them just being in the middle of the desert threw this whole episode into a weird thing for me. Because it just made me go like, what are they on a different timeline? You know what I mean? Like, what is happening?
It's about the size of Germany?
Oh, okay. So it is small.
I think, yeah.
Oh, Germany's very small. Okay. Relatively.
Yeah,
we live in Canada. We live in a place, and I think that this is the weird thing, right?
And that's the thing.
For me, it's like...
For us, if we went to BC, that would be weeks on horseback. Or
it would be
like
months.
Sure.
Yeah.
But like, that's what I mean. Like, our perspective is so skewed because we live in a really large, spread out country.
It would be a long time.
I don't know. I literally like could not tell you, but it's a significant amount of time.
I think that like living in Ontario, where it's like a 15-hour drive to the border, to go to Manitoba, like we just live in a place where there's so much space, and they probably don't. But yeah, I don't know. I think that cut was just very strange to me.
Sure.
For them to be like in Rustenbull, which I thought was south, and then suddenly they're in the middle of the desert. I was like, why are we doing that? Like, why this? Why didn't you just take the train to somewhere else?
That's fair. I think, like, you know, like, having that kind of clarity is like super helpful. Like, if the show isn't super clear on those moments, then it is a bit of shortcoming, or it relies on like other knowledge, and like it's interesting to discuss.
It's just not, when you're gonna make it, if it wasn't like pivotal to this like mystery, this ongoing mystery, I don't mind it so much. But it's when you add in the element of like, what is Mustang thinking, that I go, yes, but like actually, what is Mustang thinking?
Yeah.
And that's what I don't. That's what I don't want to be doing when I'm watching a show is being like, wait, how are they in a desert?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what was this cut? How much time has passed?
Mm-hmm.
Because Rustenbull seems like it's like a normal farmland, right? And so like for me, I'm like, is there like just farmland, and then just desert? You know what I mean? Are those two ecologies that close to one another here?
That happens.
It could, yeah. It could be that. I don't know. That threw off what was otherwise like interesting stuff.
Yeah,
right?
you were like, where are they and how are they getting around?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. But also I was like, I'm gonna go be a refugee in Jing. And I'm like, okay.
Gonna go check it out over there.
Sure. I still hold though that the Envy's plan is terrible. Like she's exposed.
You said it yourself.
They've exposed so much of the issue with their plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we see that here, right? Like they're so suspicious of them.
Yeah.
And so I wonder.
I don't know if Envy has like official like non-binary like pronouns, but I've always like viewed them as they seem very non-binary androgynous in this show.
No, I think for sure. That's the way at least it appears.
Yeah, that's how they're presented.
The guy that Winry works with, like there's very clearly a LGBT
some queer representation
in the show.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. Armstrong with his mascara here.
He uses waterproof.
I think that like I like the show a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that some of its details are a little messy.
Okay.
And so I think that like the character relationships are so good, and it's the stuff that we keep talking about, right? Like is like the those things that hold the show together are so strong, and I really enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes like the passing of the like scene to scene stuff is like, okay, yeah, I guess we're in the middle of a desert.
Yeah.
That's a holy place, and I guess Ed's alone and all these as well. And I guess, and sometimes the like number of things I have to like be like, yeah, sure, I guess. Just isn't my favorite way to tell a story, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
But I'm still enjoying the show a lot, right? I still think it's really good, and I'm excited to see where this goes. I feel like Ed's letting Mustang off the hook a little bit easy, and so I hope that Al doesn't. Because Al is being kept in the dark longer, I hope that Al lays into Mustang a little bit here.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
But he probably won't.
Don't remember.
Because he's a suit of armor. You know who I still don't like? Ling.
I'm shocked.
Well, he comes into the room and he's like, well, and now you owe me this information because I made a deal with someone else. And Al's like, no.
It's like, I don't see what that has to do with me.
Yeah. And I agree with Al. And I don't know why Ling thinks that he's owed that.
He is a prince.
I know. He's just
person.
He doesn't work for me. And I like everything. I like everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's tough to have one character. And it's not
we'll let that settle.
It's not the Xing of it all, because I like May a lot.
Yeah.
Right? May immediately fit into the show to me, and Ling just doesn't at all.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Yeah, he just bugs me.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll get around to it.
I hope so. I want to have that moment where I'm like, all right, guys, I'm in. I want that. You know, I want it to get me the way Armstrong did, because I was kind of like, I don't get this dude. And I love him. So like, I'm hopeful this show like grabs me by the nards at some point and says, Ling's great. And I'm like, okay, let go of my dick. If you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave me comments down below, because the algorithm god is hungry and we must feed her. This episode, that algorithm goddess is
Lieutenant Ross.
May she have a good vacation before she comes back to join the fight in a later episode. Also, Hawkeye is about to be attacked by a homunculus on top of a bell tower, and that makes me nervous. This show is not afraid to kill people, and I'm a little bit scared. But we haven't had the review. We haven't like revealed much about Hawkeye yet, so I think she's safe. She didn't get to go home and say goodbye to her parents, so I don't think she dies. If you want to follow us around the internet, you can. I'm at nerdynightly.
I'm at Clarence Polaris.
As always, do something nerdy tonight.
Bye.
Bye.